Hi, 7th grade. Today we're going to be working on lesson 1-2 of your algebra book, and that is order of operations and evaluating expressions. We're also going to be doing two different gotta checks today. So we're going to do a gotta check on page 11, number 2C, because there's an important concept I want you to know about, and page 12, number 3A. Your homework is going to be on page 13, numbers 25 to 33, and your bell ringer is going to be page 13, number 20. All right, let's get started. So at this stage, the order of operations should be very, very, very familiar to you. First, when we're evaluating expressions, we do parentheses, exponents, then we do multiplication and division left to right. So these two go together left to right. And addition and subtraction, also these are grouped together and we do them left to right. Okay? One thing though that you guys have not seen before is the invisible parentheses. Okay? And what does that mean? So I want to talk about the invisible parentheses, and it comes up a lot in algebra because we use the division symbol with the two little dots very rarely, and we switch to showing expressions that are divisible with the numerator and the denominator of a fraction. So, for example, I'm working on page 11, and I'm looking at this example. This is 2 to the 4th power minus 1 all over 5. Okay? Now, this is interesting because there is an invisible parentheses here, and I'm going to use the green to put the invisible parentheses in. The invisible parentheses is in the numerator of the fraction. So what this means is we actually have to do all of this first and then divide by 5. And the reasons mathematicians write the expression is this way is because it saves us from writing the parentheses we would have to with the division sign. If we were using a division sign, okay, we couldn't write this the same way because that would say we were supposed to take 1 divided by 5 and do it with the subtraction. So we'd have to put parentheses in. So writing it this way makes the expression look neater and cleaner, and mathematicians avoid having to use those parentheses. But they're there. So you have to remember that in this expression, there are always invisible parentheses. Okay? Let's practice our order of operations and simplify this. So if I'm looking at this problem, I would have to take 2 to the 4th power first. That is 16 minus 1 and divide by 5. Remember, there are those invisible parentheses up there. So next, after I've done the exponents, I have to do the subtraction. So I'm going to subtract 16 minus 1 is 15. This leaves me 15 over 5, and that gives me 3. So 3 in this case would be my final answer. Okay, let's try your first gotta check. So your first gotta check, and I'm just going to put it over here, is on page 11, and it's number 2C. So if I look at 2C, this would be 4 plus 3 to the 4th power, I think. Is that right? That looks right. And that would be divided by 7 minus 2. Okay, pause the video, come back when you're ready. All right, let's give this a try. So as I look at this problem, okay, I have to do my invisible parentheses here. So I need to put an invisible parentheses here, and I need to put an invisible parentheses here, okay? So if I do my top first, 3 to the 4th power, that would be 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. That would be 81. So this is 4 plus 81. Okay? And then I'm going to do my parentheses on the bottom. So 7 minus 2, this would give me 5. Okay? Remember, I have invisible parentheses again. I have to do this addition first. So 4 plus 81 would give me 85. And I still have 5 on the bottom. If I simplify that, that gives me 17. So that is my final answer. Okay, for gotta check, our first gotta check. All right. So now that we're comfortable with invisible parentheses, let's move on and talk about evaluating expressions. So most of the time in algebra, we're going to be seeing expressions using variables, and we're going to have to plug in values for variables in order to evaluate the expression. Evaluate the expression means kind of finding what its solution is. So let's take a look. So now I'm working on page 12. All right, and I'm looking at problem 3. And what you want to be careful about doing is you always want to plug in 4 variables using parentheses. Okay, so really this lesson maybe is all about parentheses. Okay, and I'm going to show you an example. Okay, so they're going to give us an expression which is x squared plus x minus 12 divided by y squared. And the problem tells us that x equals 5 and y equals 2. Okay? Plugging in using parentheses will save your life. And most of the time when it saves your life, it's because you have positive and negative numbers here. Okay? But here's what I'm going to do. Every place that I see an x, I'm going to put a parentheses, just like this. And every place I see a y, I'm going to put a parentheses as well. Notice how I put the squared sign outside the parentheses. That's going to help me if I get a negative number. Okay? Now I'm going to actually plug in and evaluate the expression. So I would plug in 5 for x. I would plug in 5 for x here. And then over here I have y, so I'm going to plug in my y equals 2. Okay? Now I can actually finish the problem. So let's do some of these things first. So first up, I should do my exponents. So this 5 squared would give me 25. I'm just going to bring down my plus 5, minus 12, and 2 squared is 4. Okay? Next up, I should do my division. Okay? So 12 divided by 4 is 3. So I now have 25 plus 5 minus 3. Don't forget that you had that sign over here. And last but not least, I can finish this up. So 25 plus 5 would be 30, and 30 minus 3 is a good old 27. Okay. So I think that you're ready to try the gotta check. If you need to pause the video to write this down, go ahead, because I'm going to erase it. And we're going to be doing gotta check, page 12, number 3A. All right, I'm going to erase this so I have a little room for my final gotta check. So my gotta check, I said, was on page 12, number 3A. So as I look at my gotta check, it says that I should evaluate the expression 3b minus a squared, and it tells me that a equals 3 and b equals 4. Okay, let's do this one. So first of all, remember, I am going to put parentheses wherever I see a variable. Careful to put the exponent outside the parentheses. Okay? I need to plug in b here, so I'm going to plug in 4 in this parentheses, and this parentheses was a, so I'm going to plug in a 3 over here. Okay? Now I should be able to finish up the problem. So first thing I have to do is exponents. 3 squared is 9, so I'm going to write that in. Bring down my minus sign, and now I can do my multiplication. 3 times 4 is 12. So right now I have the expression 12 minus 9, and 12 minus 9 is 3. And that's my final answer. Okay, bunch more of these on your homework. So for your homework today, you should be trying page 13, numbers 25 to 33, and your bell ringer is page 13, number 20. Bye, 7th grade. See you tomorrow.